Hello guys, this is the White Shadow, and today we're gonna have a spotlight about Redstone in Motion, a mod made by JakJ. Basically, this mod allows for an alternative to Redpower frames, or maybe we should call it a replacement, and it also allows for new functionalities and new ways of transporting items and no, not transporting items. I mean moving blocks in the world, and so. For this, we have new blocks. Those on the left are the engines. There are three types of engines, and there are two modes. This is the normal mode, and this is the continuous one. We will take a look at those just a moment after. And these are the new blocks. And without further ado, let's crack on with the spotlight. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna take a look at are frame carriages. It says it carries blocks directly touching it, just like Redpower frames. So what you want to do is lay down your structure, like this for example. Of course we delete those because it touched the ground, and then we add blocks. We can choose, for example, block of iron or any other machine if you have mods installed, and you basically just lay them down like this, for example, and then you just hook your carriage engine, for example like this, and you need to give a signal, a redstone signal. So the main difference between Redpower engines and these ones is that these ones they move depending on where you put the signal. So for example, if I put this redstone block on its left, it's going to move right like this, and if I keep adding, you see, and if I put the redstone block instead here, it goes to the left, and the same thing for here, it goes up and goes down. Okay, for so about the engines, there are two types. This one, when you give it a signal and it's attached to a frame, it will always go with it. It doesn't stay put. And so there's another one, which is the carriage drive, which basically does the same thing, but it only moves the frames. It doesn't go with it. So if I put the redstone block in here, you can see the frame moves, but not the carriage. So this, for example, allows for elevators and stuff like that. Okay, the other thing we need to take care of is these frames only allow for blocks that are directly connected to it. So, for example, you can't wait, just okay. You can't move structures like this. If I put the carriage engine, give it power, yes, they stay put. They doesn't move because those blocks, they are not actually connected to these frames directly. These blocks are not these blocks. And the other thing, if you want to make it like move, for example, if we wanted it to go like this, we wanted the frames to go in between those two rails, all you need to do is isolate these frames. When you see the panel is like not transparent anymore, it means that it doesn't, even though there's a block in here like this, even though there are blocks on that side, they doesn't move with it. They just stay put. So if you do the same thing over here, add any block you want, and then put the carriage engine there and give it power, it they are not attached. Basically, they're not attached. So you can move however you want. And so for the limitations, well, it's not called it's not really a limitation. It's not a future. It's just the way it works. It's basic physics. Is, for example, if you have the frames in here, and you want to go this way, so we need just to isolate. Oh no, it's perfect. And then I cannot move it further because this block is blocking it. Well, of course I can go the other directions fine. And this applies for blocks that are blocks that are blocking blocks which are connected to frames, as well as the frames themselves, like this. So we give it power. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It doesn't move. Okay. And so this is basically the same thing as the Redpower frames. It's not much. In Redpower frames, we used to put how do we call them? Panels. We used to put panels to isolate the sides of the frame. Now you just right click it with a wrench, and it will isolate the size you want, like this. You see? And there's another feature in the carriage, the carriage engines and the motors, is that you can give it, you just right click it with the wrench, and it changes to continuous mode. What this basically help you do is that if you give it power, it will, no, not like this, sorry. So yeah, this, and you give it power. As long there's a redstone block, it's, no, not like this. So as long as you give it power, it will continue to move. It won't stop unless something is blocking its way, like this. Yeah, see, it cannot move anymore. And just a note, you shouldn't use this when you're actually inside the plane, or whatever the ship you want to call it, because you will get stuck pretty much forever. You cannot break the blocks. Oh, you actually do. Okay, never mind it. Okay, so I think we've covered the frame carriages now. We should move on to the platform carriage. The platform carriage is another block just like the frame carriage, but it does act differently. And so what this allows you to, you can carry entire body of blocks it's connected to. So as we saw, the frame carriage only moves frames with blocks which are attached to it, like this. If you add more blocks, say like this, only the blocks attached to the frames actually move with the frame. But it's not the same thing with the platform carriage. The platform carriage allows you to move as many blocks as you want, but the blocks have to be connected. They have to be connected down to the initial frame. You can, of course, add more platform carriages like this, and have any block you want, like this, and it will move. As simple as that. And so this allows for very compact designs, and you don't have to put a lot of hassle and work in tries to figure out where you should put the frame carriages and stuff like that. So it adds new possibilities. And so of course you can isolate the blocks. You can isolate the blocks. So if you put whatever block here, sorry, and you try to move it, it will stay put. So this is basically the platform carriages. This is what it allows you to do. And of course you can use whatever motor you want. Continuous mode, normal mode, the carriage engine, the drive engine, stuff like that, motor engine, sorry, stuff like that. The third carriage is the support carriage. Okay, so what this allows you to do is it will attach to any blocks that are in their the blocks that are directly in a straight line. So for example, this is the open side. If I hook a carriage engine, for example, and I give it power, these blocks will move with it. You will say, okay, this is pretty much the same as the platform carriage, but the single, difference between them is that if you attach more blocks that are not directly in straight line like this, they won't move. They will stay in the world like this. Yes, you see, they detach because they're not in the way these sides are facing in a straight line. And you can change what side it is. It's not it's not always the upside. You can use, for example, this side and this side at the same time. So blocks, blocks, and over here, and you tell it to move. What? Why is this not working? Something is. Right. Oh, I really don't know. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, you get the idea. So let's move to the structure carriage, and this structure carriage is really awesome. For example, let's say so it carries entire cuboid of world. So let's say you built. Okay, let's build the house real quick. So like
this, build a house. Not fancy building. Just going to do it that way. This looks like more a hut than a house.
Okay, this is too big. This is gonna take so much time. Let's build something like
this. I don't know. I don't even know what this is, but it's fancy. Okay, just
a bit of flag. Okay, let's say we want to move this structure. So all you gotta do is lay down structure carriages in cuboid shape. You make the frame in a cuboid shape like this. Just put the edges, not the faces, and you try to encircle and enclose the whatever monument or building you want inside this cuboid of structure carriages. And then with the turn of screwdriver, you right click here on the downside, and this way, this here too. I'm just looking. Okay, here. Basically, yeah. So you have to enclose all the sides, and then you just put a carriage engine, for example, here, and you give it power, and there you go. It moves the entire structure or whatever there is, and you can make it pretty much as big as you want. Of course, there are limitations to how many blocks you can put, but you can have it pretty big. Like you can move a whole chunk or two or whatever. So this is pretty useful if you have a house, for example, and you want to move it somewhere else. You don't have to mess around with the frame carriages and stuff like that. You can even move stuff that are in air. So for example, this block I'm going to put here is not attached from anywhere. It's just floating in mid-air, and you simply give it power, and there it goes. It's as simple as that. Okay, hope you got the idea of this structure. It's really easy, it's really all useful, and it's awesome. Very nifty, huh? And now, this is the best carriages ability, and how you can use it with mod blocks like thermal expansion and stuff like that. So this is the Template Carriage. It says it carries blocks in the exact pattern prepared. So what you have to do, for example, let's say you want to build an airship or a tunnel frame boring machine or stuff like that. All you want to do is lay down a pattern like this. Just lay down the pattern, Sorry if I don't talk too much. So for example, let's do this, and then you can put, for example, your drive inside or outside or whatever. All you gotta do is, after you finished laying your template, you just put a block in here or elsewhere, whatever you want your drive to be hooked to. Or probably we couldn't make this one. Okay. You see now, when it gets the closed size, it means that the template has been saved. And if you want to show it, you just shift click, right click it with a screwdriver, and you get a ghost, the ghost structure. It's not actual moving blocks, as you can see. I fell through it, and now what you can do is put, for example, like this. You put the structure inside the you basically replace the ghost frames with the materials you want. For example, I can put iron and then block of gold, this, and diamond blocks. This. Okay, so you got your structure in here, and you have to put your motor in on that single frame which is which has closed sides. You just put it in here, and then you give it a redstone signal. What? What's wrong? Let me try here. Oh, okay, okay. I get it. Okay, see? It moves and you don't see any of the frames. Like, not even a single one. It's all like camouflaged, and yeah, you basically don't see anything. Sorry, I've had a lag. And so I'm sorry if it didn't work here. It's because if I put the redstone block of redstone here, it gives power, so the airship normally should move this way. Yeah, this way. And so if I put the block isn't attached to the frame, so it tries to stay put on this spot, and the frame, the carriage engine tries to make it move this way, and the redstone block blocks the frames. Yeah, you shouldn't mind it. Just make it a little bigger and it will work. For example, if I leave this like this, if I remove the frames and put the redstone, now it works. Yeah. And so those are the template carriages. They are very, very, very powerful with industrial modes like thermal expansion, like MFR and stuff like that. And so you can make quarries out of it. You can make how do you call them? You can make tunnel boring machine, which are very compact. You don't have to mess around with the frames placement and all that hassle. Yeah, so they're pretty good, in my opinion, of course. Hey guys, I don't know what happened. The recording just stopped it. I had an issue with fraps, and so there's something I haven't told you about yet, which is another carriage engine, which is called the Carriage Controller. It moves according to computer craft control. I left it for the end of the video since it doesn't come with the. Well, it actually comes with the mod, but it's not activated unless you have computer craft added. It's another mod. And so what this basically does, you need to have a frame carriage like this, or whatever carriage you want to use. You hook up your carriage controller, you can have a computer or a torso or whatever is from the computer craft mod, and you, for example, just type peripheral, call, you tell it which on which side of the computer the carriage controller is. So in this case it's left, and then you tell it to move, and then here you have to, for example, if you want to tell it to move up, you say no. If you want it to move down, you say 0. If you want it to move up, you say 1. And then for the other direction, there's 2, 3, 4, stuff like that. So I will leave the link in the description to give a documentation about how you can use the computer craft controls. And so in our case, I wanted to move up, so I have to type 1, and then there's this flag. You should put it false, because if you put it true, it means you just simulate the movement. It doesn't actually move. It just simulates. I don't know what this is useful for, but usually you wanted to have it on false. And then you say, if you want the carriage controller to move with the frame, like the carriage engine I think does, you want to put true. If you want it to stay put while it pushes the carriage, you just put false. In our case, I wanted to move with the frame, so I say true, and then like this, bam. Oh, actually, it's if you put true, it means it stays put. But let me hook up this one back here. Lua, peripheral, crawl, left, move, and then I wanted to move up, so I put 1, then false, then false. You can see it will move with the frame. Yeah, like this. Yeah, so of course there's an issue with Redstone in motion, since it's still in its early stages, is that every time you move the computer with the frames, it reboots. You can have workarounds. If you wanted, for example, to move always up, you can have workarounds. You can put your program, you edit the startup, and you basically put your code in here. But yeah, I think it will be fixed soon. I don't know. I hope it is, because computer graphics are awesome with the frame carriages. And I'm going to leave links to a guy who has made a portcullis with computer craft, and you can make it also wireless if you use RedNet and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I just have to make sure to tell you this is my first time making Spotlight, and English is not my native language. It's actually my third language. I'm not from America. I'm from Tunisia. So I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want any information, just leave a comment, like, subscribe. Yeah, just do whatever you want. Thank you.